evening, everybody, and welcome to Liberty Center. Jim Funderburg along with Chris Valenga here on the final Friday night of this football season for 2015. And Chris, I'll tell you what, it's always a tough time to come to Liberty and play these guys, but coming over here on a Friday night, which is senior night, and having to hook up with these guys, I guess the only good thing you can say is the weather's beautiful over here tonight.
Yeah, it is a beautiful night for football. Who would have thought that, week 10 of the high school football season, we'd still have sun and somewhat nice temperatures. So last time I was over here, I know you guys were here last year. Last time I was over here, it was cold and nasty and freezing.
Yeah, well, and then take that and triple it for last year. And luckily, we were up here where it was nice and warm and dry, and our buddy Chet was down there trying to run up and down the sideline, but I think there was a couple of moments where he froze up, and they actually had to go down and kind of heat him up a little bit and thaw him out so that he could run up and down the sideline with these sign there. But yes, tonight is a perfect night for football, and it should be an interesting football game this evening. The Bears come in still looking for that first win under Coach Redhead, and for Liberty, they could win tonight and still have an outside chance, even though it's a slim one, to maybe get in the postseason.
Yeah, and anytime you're talking about a Rex Lindgren coach team, I mean, he's been here for 30 years, you always talk about that playoff potential. Liberty Center is a hard-nosed, running first team, and they always have been since he's been here, and you know what you're going to get when you come to Liberty Center.
You know, talking to some of the folks here up at the press box before the game started, and that was one of the topics of conversation. In fact, the comment was made, I think we've thrown the ball maybe 10 times in the last couple of years, and that kind of put a smile on my face, but that's exactly it. You know,
Yep.
This is a football team that will not line up in a shotgun. They're going to do exactly what they do best, and that is put the ball in the hands of a running back and try to run that rascal right down your throat. You know, they're coming in after a game last week that was a tough game against Swanton, and with the opportunity maybe of bouncing the Bulldogs in week number 9, but they lost by 10 last week, but the points number 8, 9, 10, in fact, the last 7 were scored there in the last 30 seconds of that football game. It was a 3-point game going up into the final minutes or so of the ball game. So Liberty thinks that maybe they left one on the table last week. Come in tonight at 5-4 and 4-2 overall in the conference this evening, and a win last week over Swanton would have been a big win for these guys.
Absolutely, and you know, Swanton, we've said it all year, they're really the team that's been the one to beat. They've talked about it for 3 or 4 years. This was the year they were going to succeed, and boy, they have proven it correctly.
Bears coming in here after a real tough loss on the road to Patrick Henry last week, 40-8. And as we said, Swanton went down to beat Liberty last week, 31-21. Sets up an interesting final night here to the season as you have Swanton and Wauseon sitting on top of the NWAL at 5-1. And Swanton will be hosting Delta tonight. Meanwhile, Patrick Henry goes to Wauseon. Evergreen is at Archibald, and obviously we're over here at Liberty Center. So Wauseon at 5-1, Swanton at 5-1. Wauseon is at home with PH coming to their place. That should be a very interesting game, especially now that Donnie Johnson is healthy and ready to go tonight. So that's one we'll keep an eye on.
Absolutely. PH played really well last week, and they're kind of hitting their stride as the season ends. Wauseon always tough, but a home upset win, that'd be interesting for the conference.
And these guys over here are in that same mix basically with the Deltas and the PHs of the world. If things go right here tonight, points might get to the point where these guys will sneak in, but if they go right for everybody, it's going to be a real uphill climb for the Liberty Center Tigers to be able to move on to week number 11. And for the Bears being at 0-9, this is a ball game I think is just for pride for Coach Redhead and his guys, because Coach has told me a couple times he's never been 0-10 in a season. Really doesn't want to be 0-10 here tonight, but it's basically all going to come down to the effort and the ability of his guys to come out and play a real solid football game, because Liberty's going to be ready for them tonight, and it's going to have to be an error-free game if the Bears want to be able to get win number 1 here and avoid that 0-10 season.
And that's been the problem with the Bears all season long, is the mistakes. Mistakes including penalties and turnovers. If they can limit those tonight, they have a shot at winning this game. If they have done what they've done the last 9 weeks, they have a real shot of going 0-10. So it's really how they can minimize mistakes, both penalty mistakes, dumb mistakes. Personal fouls has been really, really something I've really looked at this year. Just a lot of personal fouls, which is unacceptable, and then the turnovers. It'll be interesting to see what direction they go with quarterback. Zach Novus started last week and then got pulled for Blues Creek. It'll be interesting to see which way they go.
It was interesting to me tonight watching, Chris, because it did look like Blues was taking the most of the reps here as they were getting warmed up, and I would expect maybe to see number 17 open up here in that pistol look here for the Bears this evening when they get things going. But obviously Novus has taken as many snaps as Blues has this year.
Yep.
Neither one of these two guys have been overly successful on the season. When you take a look at their numbers here, Novus is 40 for 103, 396 total yards, 2 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, averaging 44 yards of passing per game and completing about 39% of the throws that he makes. And Blues Creek, 18 for 49, 395. He's got a couple of touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 43.9 yards per game, and he's hitting 36.7%. So neither one of these teams, these young guys hitting at a very high percentage when it comes to a completion rate. Neither one of them really throwing for many yards. You add them both together, and they're still both under 100 yards of total passing on any evening on a Friday night. So you do have a situation where the passing game that you would like to be there and you'd like to be able to hang your hat on a little bit has not been there for this football team all year long. And as you said, the penalties and the mental mistakes have just been the downfall of this team all year.
Absolutely, you can correct those. You can see some success, and that's what needs to happen. They need to correct those and just improve week to week, and we didn't see any improvement over the course of the season.
You said you saw maybe Damon Belts in a pair of blue jeans tonight in street clothes. If that's the case, they lose their number one running back here. He's number 12 in the conference this year. He's run the ball 94 times for 420 yards and averages about 47 per game. So in lieu of Blues probably being out there here tonight, I would guess that you're going to see quite a bit of John Rittenhouse and also see some Devontae Royster, and those were the two guys that I saw in the backfield quite a bit here as we watched them warm up tonight. If you flip it onto the other side, the guy that the Bears are going to have to deal with here on Friday night is a young man by the name of Zach Carpenter. Carpenter is the number one guy in the conference for rushing. He's ran the ball 215 times for 1,273 total yards, averaging just over 140 yards per game, about 6 yards per tote. He has the number 2 scoring slot in the conference right now, and he scored 15 touchdowns. So this is a football team, again, as we said, that when you look at the numbers for their quarterbacks and their receivers, they really aren't even on the charts when you look at the NWAL stats here for the season.
Well, didn't you say both of our guys are on the charts?
Yeah,
not?
Both of our guys are basically in the listings when you go up to the conference site. And when you take a look at their quarterback, Brooks Hinton, he is not there. Hinton is a senior, 6'2", 145, and we are told, talking to some of the guys up here, that they have a freshman over here that they are very, very high on. And next year that quarterback spot will be maybe a little unusual to a Liberty team because this young guy has a big arm and has the ability not only to run the ball but also throw the ball. So that will be an interesting situation here. When you look at the Liberty team, Dylan Sexton is the number 7 runner here in the conference. He's rushed it 86 times for 686 yards this year. 8 yards per carry, 76 yards per game, has scored 8 times. And Logan McCulloch is the number 19 rusher in the conference here this year. 20 carries, 160 yards, 8 yards a carry again, 40 yards average per night, and has 1 touchdown on the season. So you can see they have 3 running backs that basically have had a much better season than any of our running backs here so far, and that's exactly what we expect to see out of the Tigers tonight. Run right, run left, open up holes and try to drive that ball, eat that clock, and beat you down in the trenches, and that's going to be an interesting thing to watch here tonight between these two football teams.
Jim, I was looking back at some history, and when Coach Lundgren won his 200th game here at Liberty Center, I looked at our game, and we beat Delta 48-13 that year. It was 2009, and our backs were Levi Fisher and Cody Kyle. So those are some blasts from the past.
Man, that will take you back a couple of years ago. And the thing that led me to believe that I'm dealing with a color analyst here tonight that's getting to be an old guy is you were in high school when
Yes.
Rex was just getting started over here as a pup.
Yep, absolutely. He started in, they think 86, and so this would make it his 30th year of coaching. And yeah, I was in high school then. Actually, I wasn't in high school in 86. I started high school in 90. So
there you go. It's making me feel like a young guy right now, knowing that you're getting to be an old guy here.
I'll be
with
40
me.
this year, Jimbo.
Oh, my goodness. I still have socks older than that, Chris. How's that? So there you go. Well, I'll tell you what, the ball game, Chris, being brought to us by some really good sponsors, and we've been very fortunate to have these guys back at us all year long.
Yep, the Bryan Athletic Booster is always backing our athletes. Good luck, Bears, all season. By Bryan Ford Lincoln, just down the road from high prices. Bryan Municipal Utilities, your local cable and high-speed internet provider. By Genesis Healthcare, Bryan Center. We are your friends. We are your family. We are your neighbors at Genesis Healthcare. Girl Funeral Services. Commitment to service is our #1 priority. By Northwest State Community College, helping you take that next step to a new job or new career. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, all types of service for all types of people. By the Plaza Motel, your home away from home, and don't forget to like us on Facebook. By Tompkinson BMW, home of the ultimate driving machine. And Wheelings Automotive, dealership quality at aftermarket pricing.
Well, it's going to be a big ball game tonight. Why don't we take our first break here on BryanSports.com, and when we come back, we'll let you hear what Coach Redhead has to think about tonight's contest here on BryanSports.com. Coach, I'll tell you, Liberty this week, when you started this year, that was one of those teams that was young. Nobody knew what they were going to do, where they were going to head, all that kind of stuff. That's a team that seemed to come together really well this year.
Yeah, definitely. Last year they ended their season strong, and they rolled right in it. They had a couple losses early, and then they rattled off 4 in a row. They're playing hard. They're playing within the system. They're executing within the system and doing what the game plans call for. And that's what wins ball games. You have to do the scheme and play within the scheme and within what the team needs you to do. And they're an embodiment of that. And, doing real well. Good job.
Yeah, they really are. Again, it's a football team that's going to be physical. They're going to run the ball. They're going to pound the ball. They're not going to throw it all that much. Their idea is that they're going to take that thing and just run it down your throat most Friday nights.
And, we've got a game plan that if the guys will do what we are asking them to do and create piles and do those things, instead of standing up looking for the ball, we'll be okay. Friday night, we did it at times. And then we'd stand up and, okay, I'm going to not plow, and I'm going to stand up and I'm going to look for the ball, and I get driven back 10 yards, and that's right where they run. You got to execute what they're told, and we got to do it every play. We can't take plays off, and we can't have those lapses. And it's just been a fight all year, and to find guys that'll consistently do that. And we are better athletically than our record shows. It's just we don't stay consistent, and that's something that when I have more than 4 months with them, I can fix.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to get in here this quick and turn things around that way and get them into what you want them to do in a short period of time like you had this year.
Yeah, and once the program's consistent, for a few years, and it's the same thing, and we're pushing them as hard, and the younger kids have responded. I've got a couple of freshmen starting. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen often, and they're starting over older guys because they'll do what we ask them to do, and they'll give us every ounce of effort they have, and that's what it's got to be. That's what it was when we played, and that's the mentality and the cultural change that I got to get brought in. That you've got to get the job done no matter what. There is no not getting it done.
Right. One of the seniors that I thought stuck out the other day, though, Jake House, seemed like he was all over that field quite a bit on Friday night. He seemed to make several different tackles, and he is one of the guys that seemed like he's embodied what you're looking for on a Friday.
Yeah, against the run, he's done a decent job. We corrected some angles. We took some bad angles in the first half, and where the guy was able to run through an outside arm tackle and he didn't get his head across, we corrected it. Got him coming downhill better, and in the second half he did a better job of tackling. And like I said, on the passes, we need to come up more and things. But we played a decent up front at times. Brant played well at nose. He had one jump, but I joked and I said, next time instead of beating your helmet, take your helmet off. And it happens. They're trying to jump the count and things, and they all do it, and they're kids. But as long as they give all their effort and they, I just don't see them digging to get to the ball at times, some guys.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to have, 11 guys going to the ball. We got to have 11 guys trying to finish their blocks and put somebody on the ground on offense. And, that's where we're running into problems.
You had some seniors this year. You're going to say goodbye to about 10 of them right now. That's always the way that it happens. Guys like Chance Taylor and Whitler that kind of went both ways at times. So you did have some guys that had to try to make that big transition from being 3 years in a different program and now trying to make the change here. But it's always kind of hard to say goodbye to seniors at the end of a year, even though life goes on. Yeah. And you don't have a big class going, but you do have 10 of them that are leaving right now.
Yeah, we're losing 10. I mean, we will return 17 starters, and they're the guys that okay, you came in and you started, to try and change the mentality, and that's the thing. The kids tried to do their best, and we have to remember that, and we can't get down on them, because it is a game and it is high school football.
Yeah.
We're trying to make them better people through playing, not just better athletes. I think we've done that. We may not have the wins to show, but we battled a Napoleon team that almost beat the number 1 team in their division.
Sure.
Friday night, and we lost 7-0. We can play like that at times. We just have, they're going to learn the consistency. They're going to learn it through practice and through us staying on them. We haven't changed anything, from week 1 to week 10.
Right.
We're still going, and eventually that'll be, the light bulb will click.
Yeah, getting down to this final week, it comes down to a couple of big games. I mean, Swanton and Wauseon still trying to battle it out to be that number 1 team. Obviously, Wauseon has a bit of an edge because they beat Swanton head-to-head, but both of these teams have big games this week. With Wauseon, they've got to go to Patrick Henry. That's never an easy. I don't care what you, whatever. That's a tough spot to play. It always seems like there's always Patrick Henry and something else that goes on in a night at PH that kind of helps PH, get off to a good start, if nothing else, or get a break when they need that. But, talk to me a little bit. What's your thoughts about Wauseon and their ability to go in there, first of all, to get the win that they need this week?
I think their passing game is going to help them tremendously. They'll struggle to run. PH has got a good run defense, but the back end of their defense struggles. We expose that. Wauseon does a decent job throwing. They've got a couple guys that'll go and catch it. So, I think it'll be a tighter ball game, a 21-14 ball game. But they do play great defense, and, I think they can limit Johnson. He'll have a decent night. There's nobody that can stop him, but as long as you can't let him run all over and contain him and slow him down, and let your offense work, I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, Swanton then is going to host Delta this week. Okay, Swanton absolutely has to have a win this week to have any kind of hope to win the conference. And maybe both of them will get into the playoffs with a win or a loss, but I would think in Swanton's case too, a win would be an easier path to get to that postseason.
Yeah, definitely. It comes down to their defense. They got a very good defense. They're going to have to run the ball. Delta, they're good against the run, but their secondary is pretty good, and I think they can sit with the 2 safeties in the middle. They can really take away a lot of things in the passing game. So it's that one's a toss up. It just depends what Delta team shows up, and Swanton's going to be ready. So we're just going to have to wait and see on that one.
I know you're a big, tough football coach and everything, but I'm sure Coach Redhead at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night sits down every now and then and says, boy, I did this really well this year. I did this really poorly this year. Give the guys watching right now a little feel for how Coach Redhead thinks he did this year.
Well, I think that we ran a program that was solid, consistent. We held the kids accountable for a lot of actions. We had a lot of things that went on that were outside our control, and also we made sure the kids understood they're going to be at practice, they're going to work every day, they're going to get their grades, and be good young men at least. It didn't pan out on the football field, but it's we're developing our Jimmies and Joes. You can be the greatest X and O guy, but if you don't have some of the a horse here and a horse there, it's really tough. The kids are developing. It's going to come. It's just, when you got 18, 19 kids that are first-time starters,
right?
You're going to struggle some, and just the mix of, we just had some guys. It was really tough to get them some confidence and to get them to play with confidence. And I think with the weight room and the off season and the discipline, it's going to come. I've done it before, and I've built one before, and I can definitely do it here. It's because we got good kids that'll work hard. It's just the full team buy-in. Not saying, well, I used to do this last year. No, it's this way. And once we get the full buy-in and that blind commitment to a purpose higher than yourself, then you got something special.
Yeah. Year one's always the toughest when you make a change like this, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, my successor down there is having a good year, and I left them in a good spot. And I left it better than I found it, and I'm going to make this just the same way as I did down there. The philosophy is sound, and it works everywhere that we've been, and there's good things to come, especially with all the experience we have coming back.
Yep, no doubt about that. Well, Coach, we appreciate all your time and all your effort this year. Okay, good luck on Friday night. Let's get this, maybe let's get that last win against the Liberty Center team on a Friday night, huh? They kind of got us last year's payback time for us, huh?
Yep, that's what we're focusing on.
No doubt about that. That's going to wrap it up for this year on Extra Point. If it's Friday night, football's next here on BMU TV.
Back here at Liberty Center, Jim and Chris, we get ready for things to happen here out on a football field tonight as the Bears will be in their visitors' white tonight with the purple numbers and the gold helmets with the purple trim. And for Liberty this evening, they are in their black unis with the red numbers, white piping around those numbers, the black helmets with the red trim here on the top. Both these football teams, Chris, really with not huge numbers out for football this year, but both these football teams have a decent contingent of young guys, and they'll be here this year, and then you'll have a lot of the same names here again next year.
Yeah, and youth has been one of the factors this year, as Coach said in the interview. You got to get kids that know what's going on and are willing to do it, and sometimes that takes a year or two.
Saw Coach Lindgren go out to the mid portion out on the big tiger paw there, the middle portion of the field, and was told that he had a little knee surgery not long ago on that knee. You saw him hobbling just a little bit. Also heard from some of the Liberty folks that when they were down on that field how similar Coach Lindgren and Coach Redhead were. Both big, solid-looking guys with a kind of a football mentality out there. And it's going to be fun to watch these two guys kind of go at one another here for the next couple of years.
Well, especially with Patrick Henry's longtime coach Inselman leaving. He's the dean now. Rex is of the NWOAL.
Going to have to kind of scoot around here and get to the other side so I can see that. I believe that's Hinton on the top on the. There you go, 19 and 9 are the two guys back as we take a look at numbers. Northwest is on our side, on the home side, and 19 is Myers, and they will kick the ball to Myers. He'll come up and field it on the 23. The Bears right there to knock him down after a short pickup across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. So Liberty will go in on the offensive side of the ball here tonight. I think the Bears, did they win the toss, Chris?
Yes, they won the toss and they deferred,
right?
Yep.
So the Bears chose to go on defense here tonight. One of the guys that will be missing this evening, Dylan Wagner, saw him on the sideline with a sling there for that shoulder. 55 will not be in there. Zach Goodspeed, again, not there. As the quarterback Hinton will go under center. He'll turn and hand off, and they will sweep the right side, and they will be successful with that very first run. And I believe that did not catch that number at all there, Chris, did you?
It did not.
So the first down pickup will be about 8. Sexton is the young man that Dylan Sexton, number 12. And they'll hand off to the first guy, and that's their big horse, Zach Carpenter. And Carpenter will have the first down. He'll be across the 40-yard line to about the 42-yard line. So a nice pickup there of about 6 on second down. Will make it a first down for the Tigers as they run twice. And they are set up right now on the 42-yard line. Again, Hinton goes under center. They'll give the ball to Sexton. He'll sweep right side. And again, up across the 45-yard line to about the 46. So give Sexton about 3. And set up a second down now and 7. So Sexton has run on both first downs. And then they gave the ball to Carpenter on second down. Let's see if they'll maintain that. They have the two running backs in the backfield. Quarterback will go under center. They'll give it back to Sexton, and he'll try to sweep left side this time. Bears are all over that one, and they're not going to allow that to turn the corner. And right there for the Bears was Jake Kuba, number 7, and Devontae Royster. And with that, it sets up a third down. In fact, he'll lose about a yard. It'll be third down now and 6.
I think they gave him forward progress, Jim.
Ball right at the 47-yard line. He's got to go into Bears territory to about the Bears 48. Bears starting to press the line of scrimmage. They'll hand the ball off, and the Bears right there to scoop up the running back, Zach Carpenter, on that little dive play off the right guard side, and no place to go. First guy in was Lucas Nye for the Bears, and also a nice job by the center in the middle there, Brant Hall. So it'll be 4th down and 2 as they get to the midfield stripe, and Liberty will go for it on 4th down. Again, the quarterback Hinton under center. Turns, hands it to Sexton. He's got wide open spaces around the right end. He's at the 30, the 20, and he's on his way for the touchdown. So a 4th down and 2 turns into a 50-yard run by Sexton, and just like that, Liberty goes on top to open up this football game.
Wow. He just got around the right. There were a couple of Golden Bears in the backfield, but just didn't get him tackled in time.
I think they were looking at maybe Carpenter getting the football, Carpenter on the dive up the middle, and then Sexton on the sweep around the end. And boy, once he hit that right corner, Chris, you're right, there was nothing but green grass and white stripes between he and the goal line. So Sexton takes it 50 on 4th down and 2, and the extra point is up and good to make it 7-0 Liberty Center, as we're just 3 minutes into this football game. In fact, 2.5. We're the 9:31 mark right now, and the Bears find them down by 7. We'll step away. Bears down 7-0 here on BryanSports.com. Back here at Liberty, Chris, and that was a kind of a short list there for that drive summary.
Yeah, 6 plays, 74 yards, 2 minutes and 29 seconds. And capped off by Sexton's 50-yard touchdown return.
Well, you can see why that young guy has had a pretty decent season so far. Dylan Sexton with 686 yards. That 50-yarder right there will put him closing in on 740, 750 yards, because he had a couple carries in that series as well. But that 50-yard scamper around that right end after the Bears had done a pretty nice job on the 2 downs before that to bottle up the running game. And then it hit that corner and just took off, and I don't know where the linebackers or the defensive backs were. I think everybody kind of bunched in close to that line of scrimmage, and once he turned that corner, there was absolutely nobody, and he ran 35 yards without any white shirts around him.
He had 62 yards on that drive, Jim.
Ball will be scooped up at the 25 by the Bears, and they'll be across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. A short kick, looking down the field, waiting for Josh Jones to pick it up, and it was Drew Peters actually that scooped that football up and was able to advance it out to the 36-yard line. And I guess now the question is, can the Bears answer this score that Liberty just put on the scoreboard?
Well, Jim, they're going to have to if they want to be in this game.
Looking down there, it looks like it is Blues Creek, and he will have Devontae Royster to his right and John Rittenhouse to his left, as they will send 2 wide receivers to the top of the screen, a single guy down here at the bottom, and they'll hand it to Royster, and Royster fighting for some tough yards off left tackle. He'll be close to the 40-yard line, so Devontae will get about 3 on the first down run, and set up a second down at about 7. In fact, they're going to give him almost 4 as they'll give him the 40-yard line, and it'll give him 4 yards, make it second down and 6. Going to be fun to watch Devontae Royster run tonight. He got a couple of carries last week, but boy, there were just no holes to run through. Royster again will line up in that eye back spot here in that offset eye, and it'll be Rittenhouse to his right. Blues will roll to his right. Now he'll cut back towards the center of the field. Now he'll throw the ball, and he'll throw it over Rittenhouse's head up around the 45-yard line and out of bounds as he was running out of time.
Good call getting rid of it, though, Jim. That was one of Creek's problems earlier in the season, is he just he held on the ball too long. And now, getting rid of it there without taking a sack.
Third down now and 6 for the Bears. Their opening drive here of the night. And we're at the 8:43 mark right now in the first quarter. Bears have a 3rd down and 6. Color and Jones right in front of us here. Single receiver, that's Peters to the top. And again, Rittenhouse and Royster in the backfield for the Bears. Blues Creek's going to keep it. Call his own number up the center of the field, and he will be knocked down before he gets to the first down mark as he gets knocked down at the 43-yard line. Got about 4, maybe 3. Set it up 4th down and 3, and the Bears will have to kick this football back over to the Liberty Center Tigers. West again will be the deep guy. He's all the way back at about the 15-yard line. Josh Jones is going to kick this ball for the Bears. Good snap, nice high booming kick. It'll be the short receiver that will pull it in at about the 28-yard line. And that is Myers, who fielded the kick at the 28. And just like that, at the 8:06 mark now, Liberty will have the football back up 7-0 here in the first quarter. Well, I'll tell you, Chris, if you're going to slow these guys down tonight, you're going to have to slow down a running game, and we saw that in that first drive. We slowed it down a couple of times, and the next thing you know, they bust a 50-yarder around the end.
Yep, 62 yards for Sexton on that drive.
Sexton and Carpenter again, and they will throw this ball on first down, and they've got a receiver wide open in the middle of the field. 40, 30, this one's going to the house. 10-5 touchdown. Just when we say they won't, they do. Christian Chambers, the junior, 6-foot, 170-pounder, catches the ball at the midfield stripe. All the Bears up trying to defend the run. There were 3 black shirts behind everybody, and that was a nice, easy pitch and catch for Chambers.
71 yards on that, right? I'm sure it was.
Scary long catch and run, and you're about right, Chris. It was right in that neighborhood. I don't add well for numbers that big, but just when you don't think they're going to throw the ball, they toss it over your head, and you're down 13-0. Good snap, good placement, and that ball is through the uprights, and you can hear the crowd in the background now as the Tigers go in front 14-0 here on BryanSports.com. Back here at Liberty Center, Jim and Chris on a Friday night. And Christopher, I'll tell you what, 2 big scoring plays for these Tigers here to open things up tonight.
71-yard touchdown reception after a 50-yard touchdown run.
And again, a fake into the interior of that line. All the Bears came up to try to stop the run. And the next thing you know, the pass right on the money over top. Completed right around the 50-yard line. And from that point, again, nothing but green grass in front of the Liberty receiver. And that's something that's going to have to be corrected, too.
Absolutely.
All of it sell out there on that running game left you very vulnerable for the pass game. Color back deep on the home side. Again, Jones on the top here on the visitors' side. And then Peters down in front of us on the visitors' side at about the 25. He's the guy that got the ball the last time. And I believe that is Kuba over here on the home side. Again, around the 25-yard line. This ball will be kicked short. It will be Kuba. Watch it go over his head. Jones picks it up at the 20. He's got room in the middle field. He's open. 40, 50. Got one guy to beat. Needs a block. Up the sideline at the 30. Cuts back inside of the 20. 10, 15. And he gets caught down around the 5-yard line. But a big return of almost 80 yards there for Josh Jones. And Josh Jones says, anything you can do, I can do just as well. But the Bears will have the ball now at about the 5-yard line, first down and goal.
Wow, that was a big run. You know, I think if he had stayed on the outside, he might have taken it to the house. I think that cut inside there, Jim, was what ended the Liberty Center player able to catch him.
Kind of hard to see that one as it all went down there. I had to move back out to the backside. So the Bears have the football right on the 5-yard line now, Chris, after a big return of about 45, 65 yards there for Josh Jones. And it will be Peters now at quarterback as they will go to the Wildcat. Rittenhouse will be to his right. Peters with the football and a whistle, and the play is called dead before everything gets started. Peters really had no place to go. And the offsides will go against the home team, Liberty, and that will move the Bears a little closer to the goal line. This might be a plus, Chris, if we could put something on the board early, maybe get a little confidence build up. Even though you're down 14-0 right now, if you could pound this one in real quick, it would be a confidence builder, I would think, if nothing else. So it's first down now and goal at the 2.5-yard line. Again, Peters with the ball, he'll tape it, and he'll go forward, and the interior of that line slows everything down, and Peters basically just gets back to the line of scrimmage. He might have gotten a couple of inches, but it'll be second down now and goal for the Bears. Actually going to put him down at a loss of about a half a yard on that one. Christopher back closer to the 3 now. It'll be second down and goal now for the Bears at about the 3-yard line.
They got to punch this one in.
Peters again, Rittenhouse to the right. Everybody bunched in the middle. Peters goes straight forward. He has some room. He'll be closer to about the 1, maybe the 1.5, but it'll set third down now and goal. And the Bears again in that power formation look like they're intent to just try to pound this ball in. Put the ball back on about the 2 again, so it's a third down now and goal from the 2-yard line. Rittenhouse will stay in the backfield. Devontae Royster now, number 5, comes back into the game.
You got to go behind Rittenhouse and run the ball.
Everybody bunched up in the middle. I'd say take it around the end. Everybody's looking for the middle part of that field. And Peters will be close to the goal line, but it'll be stopped at about the 1. So it'll be fourth down and goal now from the 1-yard line.
I don't
They've run that ball 3 times right up the middle.
I don't understand why you don't bring in your biggest player and just let him run it.
So it's fourth down now and goal for the Bears, who had a big return.
Nope.
And they're going to take a timeout with 6:02 to play in this opening quarter. So we will take a timeout with them. 6:01 to play, first quarter. Bears down 14-0, but they're knocking on the goal line here, fourth down and goal. Back here at Liberty Center, a big decision right now for Coach Redhead and his football team. They have the ball on the 1-yard line right now. It is fourth down and goal to go as the Bears have the ball, and they will spread things open just a little bit as Color will now go wide to the left. Again, Peters in at quarterback in the Wildcat look. He'll get the football. He's going to go to the right side now, cut it back, looking for a seam, but he's going to be snuffed out at about the 3-yard line. And the Bears, with a promising opportunity after the big kick, find the running very difficult. They're inside the 5-yard line. 4 tries. They get nothing, and they turn the football over on downs.
Wow. I don't know about some of those right up the middles. Everybody knows that Peters is in there. He's going to get the ball. Why would you put him in there if he isn't going to get the ball? So I don't understand why you don't line up a quarterback.
Well, the idea is that they're supposed to be able to open up a hole in the middle of that defensive line, but they were not able to do that against Liberty. And they will turn the ball back over to the Tigers with 5:56 to play here in this first quarter. Pitch goes around that right end, and again, a broken tackle and a big run up the sideline. Here goes a long 99-yard run, maybe 50-yard line, 40-yard line, 30, 20, one guy to get him. That's Kuba, and he can't push him out of bounds. And Zach Carpenter will go about 97 yards on that run. Kuba had an opportunity down here at about the 10-yard line. He gave him a push, but Carpenter was able to tightrope his way down inside the 10 and stay in bounds. And one play, 97 yards, I believe. Was it about the 3 when they started, Chris?
97 yards, yep.
And just like that, the Bears find themselves down by 20.
Unbelievable. Last 2 drives have been 1 yard, Jim.
One play and go. Well, Liberty Center came in tonight to try to make this a big senior night, and for the Bears, it's been a rough start here in this ball game early. Good snap, good placement. This one's kick is blocked, though. Somebody got in and knocked that one down. So the only negative of the evening so far for Liberty has been a blocked extra point. You take that out of the equation, and it is 20-0 here on BryanSports.com. We're back here at Liberty, and to say that everybody in a white jersey right now is kind of shocked and have their head spinning just a little bit, I think would be pretty accurate.
It would be. Jim, I just, the momentum swing there, you give up a huge touchdown, you have a huge kickoff return, get all the way down to the 5, can't get in, and then on the very next play, you give up a 97-yard run. You know exactly what they're going to do. You got to contain.
Yeah, you really do, and I'll tell you that the linebackers here tonight have not been able to make that tackle as they run that sweep. Obviously, some pretty good blocking out of this Liberty team this evening. they do a good job that way, and they just basically came out and punched us in the mouth early here, and they're up 20-0, and we were only 6 minutes into this football game. Ball will be picked up by Color. He has some room right up the middle of the field, and he's still running at 45-yard line out across the 47. So the Bears have done a nice job getting good field position. In fact, as you said, Chris, we started that last drive on the Liberty 5-yard line, but we just couldn't punch this thing in, and it becomes a battle of wills at that point in time, and the Bears and Coach Redhead were planning on maybe trying to move the pile a little bit inside that 5-yard line, and not able to do that against a very stiff Liberty interior defensive line, and because of that, it just became a bad situation, and then made even worse and compounded with that 97-yard touchdown run. Royster again, the eye back in the backfield. Rittenhouse to the right of Creek, and Creek looking to throw. Slips and falls down, flips the ball out, and it could have been intercepted. Nope, it's incomplete. Blues Creek with a bad decision as he was going down. He tried to just scoop that ball out towards John Rittenhouse, and it was almost picked off by Liberty. Incomplete pass will set up a second down at 10 with the ball at the 46-yard line. So Bryan has had some troubles here early. And part of the troubles are blocking and tackling, as they've had all year long. Again, Creek in the backfield. Rittenhouse to his left. He'll send a receiver in motion. That's Jones coming our way. Creek will roll towards the visitor side. Now he'll roll the opposite direction. He's in some deep trouble. Rolling towards our bench and throws high for Drew Peters and over his head and out of bounds. And Blues Creek has been running for his life here tonight as the pressure has been coming from that front three of the Liberty Center Tigers.
Yeah, the offensive line is not giving him any time with which to work. I think the original play was to go to the left side to Jones, but he quickly got covered and then had to scramble to the right, evaded 2 tackles, and then was able to throw it away at least, but still.
Whitler and Taylor, the 2 guys over here on this left side, and the 2 seniors, 2 sophomores on the other side. The seniors are going to have to do some protecting. Screen pass over to Devontae Royster, and Devontae takes his eyes off of it. He wasn't going anywhere anyway, as they guys in the black shirt all over him. First guy that was up around him, Logan Smith. Smith is a senior at 6'2" and 220, and they introduced Smith before the ball game tonight with his parents and said that a young man that wants to play next year somewhere on the college level, and with the effort they've seen so far here tonight, I would see why this young guy would fit in somebody's program somewhere, maybe on a D3 level next year. Nice high kick. And again, this one will be fielded with a fair catch just inside the 25 at about the 24-yard line. And it will be first down and 10 as Alec Myers catches the football for Liberty. And just as quick as what they've gotten the ball the last 2 times, Chris, it's just taken one play, as you said, for each of the last 2 drives to go 50 yards and then to go 97 yards.
This play will be the 9th offensive play that Liberty Center runs, and they're up 20-0.
It's a little bit scary, huh?
And it's the first quarter.
And it's still in the first quarter. Carpenter again and Sexton in the backfield. They'll give it to their workhorse Carpenter this time. He went 97 last time. He's not going to get, that's who that was. He'll just get a couple this time.
Your running backs have 171 yards of rushing between those 2. Carpenter
Taylor
and Sexton.
Taylor and Hall and Kimball, the 3 guys on that front line there for the Bears right now. And we have a stoppage of the clock here by the officials. Must have some equipment problems in that huddle. Somebody's tying a shoe there in the Liberty huddle right now. Backers tonight, Clayton Farrell, 35. Drew Lockhoff are the 2 guys in the middle. And then you have Lucas Nye over here playing linebacker on the outside here. And the Bears now going to have to dig in and slow this big offensive juggernaut down just a little bit. Again, a nice hole off the right side will get Liberty close to a first down, as they'll be out across the 35 to about the 32. And I think it'll set up a third down at about a yard now for the Tigers. Tigers went for it on fourth down the first time they had the football, Chris, and they were at the midfield stripe, and they turned that into a 50-yard touchdown scamper.
On fourth down.
And then the next two times, they scored on first down. So they've scored twice on first down, and they've scored once on fourth down here so far this evening. Again, that pro look as they'll turn and they'll sweep right side. Bears there to slow things down. Taylor, I think, was the first guy on the inside. Somebody from the backside got a jersey and slowed everything down, but it would still be enough run to get the first down. I believe the first guy to get his hands on the shirt was Lockoff, but it wasn't enough to slow things down enough to keep the Tigers from moving the sticks, and it'll be first down and 10 with the ball just sitting at the 34-yard line of Liberty.
Was that Carpenter again?
Yep. 3:31 to play, opening quarter. Carpenter and Sexton in the backfield. They'll hand to Carpenter, and he'll go left side, and this time the Bears are there. Carpenter will push forward. He'll get almost 4, even though there were Golden Bears all around him. And they'll mark that ball right at the 39.5-yard line of Liberty's. Second down, and call it 6. 3 minutes left to go here in this first quarter of play. Devontae Royster on this stop as he's come in to the right side. Hall now in the middle, and Kimball here on the left side. Sweep left side. Bears have it relatively boxed in, but it'll still be about a 3-yard, almost a 4-yard game. And that'll be Chambers. Chambers, the young guy that got the big pass play and catch. And the run on the flanker sweep will get him within a yard here of the first down marker. It'll be third down and a short 1.
That was his first rush of the night.
First run of the night, and he had a touchdown catch. So he's kind of been a versatile young man here so far this evening. They'll go back to Carpenter, and Carpenter will get dumped in the backfield. He'll lose a yard, and that'll set up an interesting situation here for Coach Lindgren. It'll be fourth down and about a yard, maybe a yard and a half.
No debate whatsoever. They're going for it.
He's on his side of the 50 as the officials take a timeout. In fact, Bazinski, 78, playing on this left side right now. Danny Bazinski is a junior.
Oh, they're going to measure.
Wow, they're going to measure this? How did he even get back to the line of scrimmage?
He was
generous spot on that football right there. You had Carpenter boxed up a yard in the backfield, and this will be close.
He's going to get the first down.
He got the first down.
Wow.
Oh, well, I can only tell you, only a Liberty center can you get knocked down in the backfield and get a first down. I love it over here, but that's kind of a weird spot right there.
Well, I had him down for -1, and he needed to be positive, so that's a 2-yard swing.
First down and 10 on a very interesting spot on that third down run that lost a yard. And it'll be Liberty football. Liberty up 20-0 if you just pulled into BryanSports.com. $1:55 to play here yet in this first quarter. Handoff again goes to Carpenter, and this time Masinski will wrap him up. He'll get forward for about a yard this time. And you add the two together and give him actually almost 2 as he's across the 45 to about the 46.5. The average last run and this run out, it should be 0. But amazingly enough, he got positive yardage on both. Pitch comes to Carpenter, and he'll get knocked down after a short gain of a couple as Clayton Farrell gets underneath of him.
Or 8.
Carpenter will get 2. He'll be close to the 49-yard line. And it'll be third down now and a long 6 here for Liberty Center as they're just on their side of the 50 at the 49. Clock running down under a minute now with 53 seconds to go.
Will we see another pass? No, I don't think so.
They might throw it one more time tonight, but they've already connected on a big touchdown pass. Reverse to Chambers. Chambers left side has the first down, still on his feet at the 30. And Sean Keller I went back to the older brother. I told myself I would not do that this year, but Sam Keller, actually the only guy that stopped the touchdown on that one is Chambers, takes the reverse and marches it down to the 30-yard line for the first down.
There was also a block in the back on the way down, but I didn't expect that call.
30 seconds and counting here in the opening quarter, and Liberty has already put 20 points on the scoreboard and looking to put a couple more on. Carpenter, again, the only running back in the backfield, as they'll send a guy in motion, and then they'll hand the ball off on the draw to Carpenter, and he will be knocked down as his pins get knocked up underneath from him. He'll get about a yard as he falls forward. And in fact, they're going to actually mark him right there at the line of scrimmage, so no gain on that run. That's going to do it for the first quarter. It runs down to triple zeros here at Liberty. Tigers have the football, and they have a 20-point lead here on BryanSports.com. And we're back here at Liberty as we're about ready to start the second quarter, and we've kind of got a whole crew up here tonight, and we're looking now at the left side of the football field where you have to go to back out here and catch another window. Liberty have the football. Ball on the 32nd down and 10 for Liberty Center after the first play that resulted in no gain, no yardage at all for the home team here tonight. Carpenter, again, the only running back in the backfield, as they actually have a wide receiver standing up here on the far side, and they will roll and look to throw the football going down deep, and it's knocked away by Sam Keller. And double coverage on the receiver down the field, down around the 10-yard line, as the Bears with a good job and very alert to that passing play. First time out the shoot, they allowed that guy to get behind it, but this time Logan Smith, the intended receiver, was double covered down around the 10-yard line, and that ball got knocked away by Sam Keller. So that sets up now a third down and 10 for Liberty. Ball on the Bryan 30-yard line. And they'll go back into that running formation again with Sexton and Carpenter in the backfield.
They're 3 of 3 on third down conversions.
Sexton goes around the left end behind his blocking, and he'll be inside the 25-yard line to about the 24. And that'll set up a fourth down now and a short 3. And see if the Bears can get the ball back on downs.
Last time the fourth down play happened, it was Sexton's 50-yard touchdown run.
Bears will swap a couple guys in and out. Sexton and Carpenter, again, the running backs. They'll turn and hand to Sexton. He's got plenty of room around the right end, and he'll be inside the 20 and down to about the 15-yard line. So a nice pickup of about 8 there for Sexton. The first down puts the ball inside the 15-yard line. And we're just barely into the second quarter, and Liberty acting like they're going to try to make another touchdown run here. Hausch is the young man that made the tackle there for the Bears. And again, it's Sexton and Carpenter in the running back spots, and Carpenter gets the handoff. He's ahead down inside the 10 to about the 9-yard line. Carpenter gets about 6 on that run. Keller makes the tackle for the Bears along with Clayton Farrell. As we move down the right-hand side, I'll go this way. This works out better down here. 10:30 to play here in this second quarter. 20-0 Liberty as they're trying to make it 26-0 as they're driving. Handoff again to Carpenter. Carpenter works his way into the end zone. Nice little hole there on that left side between the guard and the tackle spot. Able to step his way through a couple of would-be tacklers and find the end zone. And just like that, with 10:19 to play here in this first half, Liberty goes up 26-0.
He had good blocking, was able to take it in. Helps when you have good blocking.
They have blocked extremely well, Chris. They've collapsed either end as they've gone around the corners, and they've opened up nice holes between guard and tackle here all night long. And Bears are finding out why Liberty doesn't throw the ball all that often. Extra point is up and also good. And just like that, the Bears find themselves down 27-0 with 10:19 to play here in the first half. And we're back here at Liberty Center as Mr. Chris Bryce, I think, is feeding some scores for us right now. Let's get updated there, Mr. Herman. What we got going on out there?
All right, it's Delta 7, Swanton 7. That's the end of 1.
Delta and 7-7-7.
Patrick Henry at Wauseon. It's 0-0 at the end of 1. Evergreen at Archibald. That's tied at 7 after 1. Defiance 12 versus Shawnee 0 after 1. In a playoff game, Tenora 7, Ayersville 0.
Game with playoff implications.
Implications, yeah, it's not a playoff game. Yeah, implications.
In Indiana, I guess, tonight, but
And Michigan started too.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just that week behind. Northwood, last place spot here. Northwood, Montpelier 7 apiece, and it's Wayne Trace trailing Lima Central Catholic 7-0. Napoleon versus BG. It's Napoleon 0, BG 10 at the end of 1. Crestview 8, Paulding nothing at the end of 1. Another games we're watching for tonight, the Hicksville versus Colgate. They're going for the teeth whitening game there. And Fairview versus Edgerton.
you mean Holgate maybe?
Josh Jones with the
Colgate.
return as he's
Colgate.
across the 30 out to about the 34-yard line.
That'll be my shout out to Bryce there.
There,
Colgate over Holgate.
Chris Bryce is back there working for us,
I just read him as I see him.
and I'm sure Big Chris would be. He would really enjoy it. I know the young guy that Liberty's got over here this year. He's got Chris's build out here. Let me see. Let me go back and check this. Jacob Embry, 6'1", 315 pounds. A lean, mean fighting machine. Yeah, lean, mean fighting machine there, like our Christopher Bryce sitting back there eating Cheetos and feeding the scores right now up into the press box. Hand off Devontae Royster, and Royster has met with several guys in black jerseys and red helmets, and Devontae will get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe put his head down and get a couple, so they'll give Devontae 2 on the first down carry, make it 2nd down and 8. 9:54 and counting. Obviously, it takes 30 to get the clock to run, and it won't run until the second half, but the Bears would like to be able to put a couple scores on the board and not have to worry about that. Peters and Jones, the wide receivers right here in front of us, and they will hand the ball off to Royster again, and Royster gets about 3 to the 41 before he's knocked down. Give him maybe 4 as the Bears run a power sweep off the left side, and it'll set up 3rd down now and about 4 yards to go here for the Golden Bears.
Bears have 12 yards rushing. In comparison, 244 for Liberty Center.
Bears need to do something to slow this team down, and the best thing they possibly could do would be to play some offense and keep the football for a little while. I formation, hand off to the dive back, and he's going nowhere. As the Bears getting absolutely no push on that offensive front.
Interestingly, they gave him a yard.
Rittenhouse gets about a yard. 4th down now and 3. Bears with the football at their own 41, and they're going to have to kick this thing away. Good snap. Josh Jones runs to his right. Thought about running that ball, and then booms, a big hanging kick that will bounce and take a Bryan roll inside the 20 and be down at the 19-yard line. So Liberty will have the football with a 27-0 lead as we keep it right here at Liberty Center. And they'll have the football 1st down and 10 just inside their 20-yard line at the 19-yard line. Well, Chris, I'll tell you, it's some interesting scores, though, going around out there. Both the big games that we're watching right now tied here early on, and it's going to be fun to see how that Delta Swanton and that Wauseon PH game will play out as the night goes on when we take a look at conference play.
And I know it's not really games we normally look at, but that Bowling Green game against Napoleon, last week Napoleon almost beat Perrysburg, who's basically the best team in the area, and this week they're not doing so hot against Bowling Green.
Liberty again hands the ball off to Carpenter, and he will be across the 20 to about the 23-yard line. So give Carpenter about 3 on 1st down. And how many times have we been over here, Chris, or they have come to our place and we've watched that double-headed running back tandem for Liberty? They always seem to have a couple of guys that can come in and put up some yardage on you. And already tonight they've got well over 100 yards of rushing here.
247.
247 yards rushing in the first half here. Slant pass is complete across the 35, and that will be a first down.
That was Hill.
As Chase Hill makes the catch for the first down, and the sticks will move. And again, they just throw the ball enough to keep you honest. Every time you really get up on that line and start to put 11 in the box, they'll toss the ball either over your head or just like that, a little slant pass in where the linebackers would have been. And they're back to that running game again. This time it is Hill again, and he'll sweep right in, and he'll get about 8 yards on that first down carry. In fact, that's West North, number 9, not 8. 8 and 9 going to be tough to see here tonight, and they just bring a 6 in too. So with these black jerseys and these red numbers, the 6s, the 9s, the 8s all kind of blend together again. So
and they're supposed to be orange. I think they are orange, but in this lighting, you're right. They definitely look red.
So it's a pickup of 9, second down and 1 now for Liberty. Dive play, Bears all over it, but they're going to have enough for the first down. And I believe that's Carpenter again that will be ahead for the first down as he gets the ball just across the 45-yard line.
Got exactly what he needed.
First down now and 10 for Liberty. Clock is rolling here with 7 minutes to play in the first half, and the Bears down 27-0. Liberty again with that two-back look and everybody in tight. Quarterback drops and rolls, is going to throw this ball down the field, and he's got his guy inside the 35-yard line down to about the 34. And I believe that is 8 again. I think that was Hill there again, Chris.
Yep.
Chase Hill, the senior tight end, with the catch for the first down. The ball again back on the Bryan side of the 50 at the 35-yard line.
He's 3 of 4 for the 103 yards.
Well, you know, you don't expect them to throw the football, so when they put it in the air as often as what they have tonight, this is almost a passing attack for a Rex Lindgren football team, as the run will go for about 4 on first down. Pickup will be about 4 yards.
Is that Carpenter?
Yep. 6:14 and counting here in the first half. And the Bears with their back against a 27-0 score here. And as you said, Chris, over 200 yards of rushing already for a home Liberty team on senior night. Ball's on the ground, but we've got a flag, and a late flag. And a procedure call will go against Liberty, one of the few things that really has been gone against them here all night long. Folks got moving a little bit too early, and unfortunately for the Bears, the penalty flag came out because that ball was in the middle of the football field with an opportunity at a 50-50 scrum right down there at about the 35-yard line. Instead, it will be moved back to about the 37-yard line, and it'll be second down now at about 12. Eric Herman taking some pictures of everybody and everything. I think you're doing selfies right now. What you up to? Second down at 12. Handoff into the middle of the line. There's Golden Bears everywhere. And Lockhoff, I believe, the first guy down there, along with Kuba, number 7. Runner will just get back to the line of scrimmage. And I can't tell whether that was Sexton or the Carpenter that came up off that pile. In fact, it's 14 this time. How's that?
I think 14 ran it last time, too.
Mato Espinoza. So Espinoza, 14, gets about a yard.
I think he ran it last time, too, Jim.
Third down and 12. That's a possibility.
I'm giving it to him.
Attaboy. We'll take your discretion there. Chris, how's that? Huh? Your eyes. Handoff on the sweep to the 30-yard line.
That's Hill.
And just like that, Hill gets about...
No, that was West again.
There you go. That 9 and that 8 is pretty difficult to tell the difference with, isn't it, Chris?
Yes,
huh?
It is.
A little flanker sweeps sets up a fourth down at about 5 at the 30-yard line.
And it's Northwest, not Kim Kardashian's child that's playing. It's a different Northwest. I had to get that in there.
Well, you've got a Blues Creek and you've got a Northwest out there on that field tonight. So, you know, there are some pretty creative parents around Northwest Ohio when it comes to naming their kids.
And it's not the 70s.
No, it's not. Quarterback will drop back. He's got some pressure coming. He'll call his own number, roll around the right side, go head-to-head with David Rummel, and Rummel will drop him a little bit short. So the 4th down play will cause the ball to go over on downs, and the Bears will have the football one more time here before this half ends as the clock stops at 4:03 to play in the second quarter. Good job that time by David Rummel to come up and put a lick on Brooks Hinton. As Hinton basically looked down the field quickly to look for an open receiver, nobody down there, decided to run around that left end, and Rummel came up and put a stick on him. Stopped him a couple yards short. Creek again, the quarterback. He'll hand off to Devontae Royster, and Royster can't get anything going as he gets knocked down back around the 25-yard line. And Devontae finding out that things are a little quicker on the varsity side than it is on the JV side tonight, as the big sophomore really not able to get anywhere as he'll lose about a yard on that first down run. Suck it down at about 11.
I don't think it was Hinton at quarterback last time.
This time Creek will go under center, and he'll turn and hand to Royster, and Royster has some room up the middle, puts his head down and drives across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. We'll check that number for quarterback, Chris. It could be a situation where they're starting to put some other guys in, being up this far real quick.
I think it was either 8 or 9.
So with 3:08 and
or 6.
counting. Well, who would be there? They've got a freshman quarterback over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It might have been Crew that had it. Jared Crew.
Good possibility that could be Crew that was in that last play. You're right, Chris. So 3rd down now and 5 for the Bears. Hand off again to Royster, and Royster will be forward across the 36 to maybe the 37. 4th down and a couple for the Bears as the Bears try to establish a bit of a running game here. And with 2 minutes and 36 seconds to go, and 4th down and about a yard and a half, the Bears look like they're going to kick this one away. But remember, Josh Jones is your punter, so you never can tell. Last time the soccer rugby type look that he gives you almost looked like one that was going to be head around that right sideline and try to catch a couple of yards, but he booted a nice big kick at the last second, and they're going to bring the sticks in actually to measure this. I think he's a good yard short. They pull it out, and yep, he's about a yard short. 4th down and about just a short yard. And I don't think the Bears are going to go for it and risk giving the ball back to Liberty here on the 36-yard line with 2.5 minutes to go.
Well, if they couldn't get it in with 4 chances from the 1, I wouldn't go for it.
Liberty has all 3 timeouts left, the Bears with 2 of them, and they'll kick the ball away. At least it appears they're going to kick this football away. Single deep back here at about the 39-yard line of Liberty. Josh Jones.
They're coming after it, too.
Gets it away with a good rush.
Oh,
he got
the
bumped,
kicker. There you go.
and they are going to get him
First
for running
down.
the kicker. But I'll tell you, Josh with a pretty good job of acting, I think, on that one. He left that leg kind of out there and let that guy run through it, and took one for the team. As we're going to bring this one back, it will be a running into the kicker. And Jones going to the sideline, kind of hobbling right now. And he could be hurt because he left the leg out there. He kicked the ball and then kind of left it hanging and allowed the Liberty player to kind of run right through it, kind of baited him into the bump there. Took the 5-yard penalty. The Bears will have the football back and get 4 new downs here after the running into the kicker call, which will advance that football across the 40 to about the 41-yard line.
It's only 10 yards in penalties for them.
Well, you know, I tell you what, we saw this Liberty team grow up last year when we were here. All these guys were younger, and they played probably the best game that they had played to that point all season long, and won the game in overtime against the Bears last year. And they've grown up just another year now this year. Creek will drop. He has some pressure coming. He'll roll towards the visitor sideline and throw. Got his completion into Liberty territory at about the 41-yard line, and that will be David Rummel that catches the ball and steps out of bounds right at the 40. So it will be Bears football.
20-yard pickup.
1st down and 10. And that was a 20-yard pickup from 140 to the other. Bears still have some time. They have a couple timeouts. Let's see if this running into the punter call will result in some points right before the half here for the Golden Bears.
Scary stat.
Yeah.
That was the first down of the Bears.
I would have to go along with that. Rittenhouse in the backfield along with Royster. They were protecting well, and Peters with the catch on the slant in the middle of the field, and he's down to the 23-yard line, so we'll move the sticks again.
16-yard pick or 17-yard pickup.
So there you go. There's number 2 as Mr. Herman will put 2 fingers up in the air, and that's 2 first downs now for the Bears. And they have the football inside the 25 at the 24-yard line, and just like that, Bears are starting to find a way to drive this football.
I should correct myself. It is the 3rd one because they got a first down on the penalty.
There you go.
The one that they actually did themselves.
There you go. Offset eye look again, and Blues will drop. He was going to run left side. He has some room, and all of a sudden he gets gobbled up right at the 20-yard line. Good, nice, solid tackle down there at about the 20 by Liberty. Creek will get 4 yards. Clock now down under a minute and a half to play here in this opening half. And boy, if they could punch this in, Chris, and then you take a look at this ball game, if they would have punched the one in when they had the ball in the 5 and that long kick return, this could still be a contest. But right now, 27-0 just would make it respectable here at halftime. Creek drops. Now he'll roll towards the home sideline, looking to throw it in the end zone. He's got Rummel, and he overthrew him. David Rummel with a double move down around the 5-yard line did get open at the goal line, and Blues just threw it over his head. Creek was running towards that sideline.
And he was telling him where to go. He was directing traffic as he was going.
Rummel had kind of run a little curl pattern down around the 7, and Blues wanted him to work his way down towards the end zone because there was nobody behind him. Once he got him to move up that field that way, he was wide open down at the goal line, and then Blues just threw it over his head. So it'll be 3rd down and 6 now. Bears have the football just before they close here of the first half. Creek going to throw that little screen pass, and Liberty saw it coming the whole way. It's completed, but it will be a loss of about a yard, and it's going to set up a 4th down now for the Golden Bears. Ball was thrown to Rittenhouse, and Rittenhouse was gobbled right up as soon as he caught that football. And the Bears will bring in Josh Jones, and he's going to try a 40-yard field goal almost. It's going to be 39 yards. So Jones will tee it up on the left half hash mark at the 29-yard line. Blues Creek is the holder. Low snap, and Creek's going to have to pick it up off the grass. Now he's looking to throw the ball. He's got a guy down around the 5 and hit him right in the hands, and he dropped it. And that was Jacob Hausch. Obviously, the Bears, with a bad snap, they were going to kick that ball, but the ball kind of rolled back to Blues Creek, and Blues did the best he possibly could. He yells fire, and he gets Hash moving down that right sideline. And with 6 seconds left here in this first half, the ball will go back to Liberty Center. And boy, I'll tell you what, that ball, I guess Blues couldn't have thrown that one too much better. Jake Hausch just didn't look that one into his hands. He'd had the football inside the 5-yard line. Couple of Tigers down there. Whether he would have been able to cash it in or not, I guess would be debatable. But the ball would have been inside the 5, and the Bears would have had one last opportunity. Liberty will take a knee, and with that, the first half will come to a close. The Bears will go into the locker room trailing 27-0 here on BryanSports.com.
27-0 Liberty Center leads at the half. Here's the Bryan High School Marching Band.
Our next chart is the third collaborative effort by these two musical hit machines. Jennifer Lopez described it as her song and an anthem of what she needed to do in her life. The up-tempo dance pop song was on her 2012 Greatest Hits album. Oh, don't be bashful to get up and move, because here is the Jennifer Lopez Pitbull hit, Dance Again. Our closer was written, composed, and performed by Bob Dylan and released by him in March of '65. It was then covered and released by our next artist in June of '65. It was their first hit single and is the only Dylan-written song to hit #1. Here is the Bryan High School Marching Band featuring Maha Perret on performing the Byrds, Mr. Tambourine Man. The Bryan High School Marching Band. Will, captain coaches are Ben Cigarillo and Larry Silver, with senior field commander Mackenzie
Back out at Liberty Center High School, halftime score is 27-0. Tigers on top. Chris Maling and Jim Funderburg along with you. Let's take a look at the stats here. First quarter, Liberty Center went up 20-0. They got the ball in the opening possession. They had a 6-play, 74-yard drive, capped off by Sexton's 50-yard touchdown run. The PAT by Hinton was good. That made it 7-0. Bryan got the ball back and punted. Then quickly, Liberty Center got the ball back and had a 1-play, 71-yard drive as Hinton hooked up with Chambers for their touchdown. PAT was good, and that made it 14-0. Bryan got the ball back. They had a 65-yard kickoff return. Bryan took it all the way to the 5 of Liberty Center, and in 4 plays got as close as the 2, and that was it. And they turned it over on downs. On the very next play of the game, Carpenter took it from the 3-yard line, went 97 down the right sideline to make it 20-0. The PAT was no good. Bryan got the ball back and punted back after 3 plays. Liberty Center got it back and ended up turning it over on downs. Bryan got the ball back, punted it again. Liberty Center got it back. And another touchdown. Carpenter this time again for 8 yards. PAT was good. That made it 27-0. Bryan had the ball one more time, turned it over on downs at Liberty Center's 22 after a promising drive that started on the Bryan 27. They went 9 plays, 51 yards in 3 minutes, 57 seconds, but they ended up turning it over on downs with 6 seconds in the half, and Liberty Center knelt down once to run the clock out. That makes it 27-0. First downs, Bryan with 3, 2 on the pass, 1 by a penalty. Liberty Center was 7, 5 on the rush, 2 on the pass. Bryan is 13 attempts of rushing, 24 yards. Their long is only 5. Liberty Center, meanwhile, has 270 yards of rushing on 26 attempts. Of course, that long is 97 yards by Chambers. Passing, Blues Creek is 3 of 8 for 36 yards. And on the other side, Hinton is 3 of 4 for 103 yards. Neither quarterback has an interception. Bryan ran 22 offensive plays and has only 60 yards of offense. Liberty Center, 10 more plays, 32, with 373 yards of offense. Time of possession, Bryan with 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Liberty Center, 14:02. Third down conversions, Bryan is 0 of 6. Liberty Center, 3 of 5. Bryan is also 0 of 2 on 4th down, and they are 2 of 2 for Liberty Center on 4th down. Bryan was not penalized in the first half, which is a real change from the past. Liberty Center, meanwhile, penalized 3 times for 15 yards. There you go. Let's take a look at some individual statistics for Bryan. Total rushing, 17 yards for Royster, as that's the leading rusher on 6 carries. The running has been rough here against Liberty Center. Blues Creek, again, 3 of 8. He has some good pickups, 20 yards to Rummel and 17 yards to Peters. And that's it for Bryan. Meanwhile, Liberty Center, Sexton has 77 yards on 6 carries. Chambers, 27 yards on 2 carries. Carpenter has 146 yards on 15 carries. And West has 18 yards on 3 carries. Receiving, again, Hinton was 3 of 4 for 103 yards. Hill has 32 yards on 2 receptions, and Chambers had that 71-yard touchdown to kind of skew things a little bit. So again, at the half, it's 20-7. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we will preview the second half of play after this on BMU TV. Back out at Liberty Center, it's 27-0. Chris Maling and Jim Funderburg and Eric Herman joining us now with some scores.
Scoreboard updates. Most of these games at the half. It's Swanton 9, Delta 7. Patrick Henry nothing versus Wauseon at Wauseon tonight.
Wait, what does Wauseon have?
Wauseon has 7.
Oh, I didn't.
Did I say it right? Okay. I don't know. I got fancy with my wording and I lost what I was doing. Evergreen at Archibald are tied at 7, or 7 love. It is Shawnee 0 versus Defiance 20. Tenora 20 over Ayersville. Man, I'm not going to be able to talk. Hicksville 19, Holgate 12. It's Fairview 13, Edgerton 14. The Montpelier Locomotives and Northwood are tied at 14 all. Wayne Trace 0, Lima Central Catholic 21. Bowling Green is over Napoleon 16-9.
Paulding 14 versus Crestview 8. Perrysburg is leading Maumee 21-14. And in the big matchup tonight, it's Chris Bryce versus the Chester the Cheeto Cheetah 7-0. Chris over the Cheetah. Most of those games are at the half, and one of the other ones that we were talking about earlier was Perrysburg over Maumee 21-14.
Yeah, Perrysburg, they were just huge, man. That game last week we were listening to a little bit on the way back with Napoleon. I thought Napoleon was going to pull that sucker out. They scored late in the quarter, or late in the game, Eric, if you remember. They scored late in the game, and then all of a sudden, they just couldn't get it done.
Yeah, things went south quick.
Yep, yeah, they did. And so that would have been a big win for that program.
That was one of the few games that we've gone back. We've packed everything up, headed out in the car, and we're driving back going, there's still got to be games on. We were listening to that quarter all the way home.
That is the one thing, when you get into some of these games with a running team like against Liberty here tonight, although it was a passing barrage so far tonight. How many throws have they made tonight, Chris?
Well, they're 3 of 4.
There you go. So they've thrown the ball 4
almost
times
equals
tonight.
their season high, season total.
So they have been tossing the ball, and I tell you, great set of eyes there, Mr. Chris, because you were right. Jarrett Crew, number 6. The freshman quarterback was in on that one series, and we were talking to their PA announcer here just a few minutes ago, and they said that last year Crew, as an 8th grader, threw the ball 78 miles per hour as a baseball pitcher. So, you got a young guy with a big arm, and it'll show on a football field, but he's also a baseball player. So interesting to see them bring a freshman in.
You watch
football
obviously more than I do. Have they ever done a clocking on a football throw? I mean, these pro guys that do nail it down the field what they're throwing at?
No, I have no idea what the speed is of
this
that
is
ball.
a new opportunity for us.
Yeah,
we need to make the football radar.
There we go. This could be a
Number
whole new
of spins
career.
plus speed.
Yeah, it'd be a whole new career for you guys.
Be like the Bridgestone guys in those tire commercials there.
The Bears will get the football to open up the third quarter. They find themselves down 27-0. Obviously, as we know, 30 points gets the clock a-rolling here. And the Bears hopefully will avoid that as they get the ball back. Chris, at least we're showing some signs right before the half there of being able to figure out how to attack this Liberty defense.
I mean, it was a 9-play drive, 51 yards, almost 4 minutes. I mean, that was the best drive.
Yep.
But still, it's only 9 plays.
Yeah, that you had the opportunity when you had the big kick return, and you couldn't do that. Peters picks that ball up around the 20-yard line. He's still on his feet, and he lunges forward to about the 39-yard line. So Peters gets out to the 39 to open things up, give him a return of about 24 yards, and the Bears will have decent field position. That's not been a problem either, Chris. No. We've had really good field position.
Yeah, I mean, the drive started out on our own 36, their 5, our own 47, our own 35, our own 27, our own 39. So when your own 27 is the worst starting position,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yes, sir, I do know what you mean. It has been a long year, and we are all happy to grow up through this year, and maybe next year things be a little bit better. Again, Blues Creek will be the quarterback to start things off here in the third quarter. He'll turn and hand to Devontae Royster, and Devontae will find some room right up the middle across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. So give Devontae, let's say 3 on first down, and it'll set up a second down now and 7.
Yeah, that 2-yard, or where you had it first down, first and goal from the 5, and you can't get it in. I mean, that is just demoralizing. And then Liberty Center has 27 points. It hasn't been in the red zone the whole night.
Yeah, that is a shocking tail of the tape right there. They'll fake the ball to Royster this time, and Blues will keep it. And Blues will get back to the line of scrimmage, and then there are black shirts all over the place, and they will knock him backwards for a loss of about a yard or so on that second down play. First guy in was number 17, and that is Christian Chambers. And again, two teams that play an awful lot of guys both ways here on a Friday night. So far tonight, the Liberty Center Tigers have had a big night here against the Bears, and the Bears still trying to find a way to get that big 0 off the scoreboard here to open up things in the third quarter. Creek will drop. He'll have some time. He'll throw across the middle, and it's intercepted. Just the guy we were talking about. And Chambers will take it down inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line. So Christian Chambers, who made the tackle on that last play, sits down there in the flat and watches that pass go right into his hands. And he'll race up the Liberty sideline, and they'll mark the football at the Liberty 20-yard line. First down and 10 for the Tigers. So Liberty obviously doing a pretty good job of scouting that little pass in the flat. And Chambers was right where he needed to be and basically where Blues Creek threw the football. So first down and 10. They'll go back to their first team, and Sexton will run that counter play off that right tackle. And he'll be inside the 20. Give him about 3 to the 17. Clock rolling with 10:15 to play third quarter. And the Bears down 27-0 here in the third.
That makes it an even 80 yards rushing for Sexton.
And, Sexton on the year has had a pretty good season, but he's averaging about 76 a night. They'll pitch to Carpenter, right end. He's got room, gets a block. He's inside the 10, close to the goal line, and yes, he's in. So just like that, Sexton goes in.
That's Sexton or Carpenter?
Or Carpenter, I'm sorry, goes in for the touchdown, and the scoreboard kicks over to double threes here with the extra point coming. I'll tell you what, the offensive line for Liberty, if you want to take a tape and show it to our guys in Bryan this next year in the offseason, this is picture perfect. They have blocked extremely well. There have been gaping holes all over the place as the extra point is good. And make it 34-0 here with 9:50 to play in this third quarter. But Chris, going back to that point, man, I'll tell you what, if you want to show our guys how to block and how to tackle, this is probably a pretty good film to show them. Not for the guys in the white jerseys, but for the guys here on the home side in the black and orange.
Absolutely. They have done just tremendous. It's not only the blocking at the line of scrimmage, but it's also the downfield blocking. Yeah. And these guys are ripping off, yard runs of 50, 23, 97. I mean, that doesn't happen without good blocking both ways. And the other thing is, I haven't seen a flag for blocking in the back tonight, which when you have those big runs, you always immediately look back to see if there's any yellow laundry on the field. But
hadn't been that way tonight, man. It's been a pretty much a dominating performance. And you're right, Chris, they seal the end. And then there's always somebody out there to also take care of the linebacker. And at that point in time, when that back hits the corner, it becomes a foot race to the end zone. And I'll tell you, we've already seen Carpenter in the way that he can keep his balance and move forward. As we tried to push him out of bounds on that 93-yard touchdown run or 97-yard touchdown run that he had. And down around the 10-yard line, we could not even shove him out of bounds. He was able to keep his balance, keep his feet.
Couple hops, and there he was.
There he was in the end zone. So just like that, the Bears now will find a running clock the rest of the night unless they can score, as it's 34-0. Ball will go to Peters at the 20. Cuts to the middle of the field at the right hash mark, and he gets stood up at the 35-yard line. And again, a big hit. And that was 55 for Liberty, Christian Kale. And Kale, who is a 5'8", 177-pound sophomore. That's the thing about this Liberty team, too, Chris. We were talking to some of the guys here at halftime. Just looking ahead to next year, knowing the teams and all the seniors that will be going, this has got to be maybe one of the favorites for the conference next year when you look at a football team that Rex is going to bring back next year with so many juniors and sophomores on that football field tonight. They'll lose some seniors, no doubt about that, but he looks like he's got himself pretty well positioned for next year. Bears will start with a dive play off of the right guard, and it will be a short pickup.
Here's the problem, too, Jim. When you get into this, this running clock situation, you're down, 34 points, the instinct is to throw the ball, and the Bears have not been very successful throwing the ball this year.
No, they haven't been, and even when they throw it well, they haven't caught it all that well at times. So it's just been a long, tough year. John Garza, 13 now into the ball game, and they'll hand Devontae Royster the ball, and he will try the left end, and he'll be back to the line of scrimmage. And in fact, he won't quite get there. They'll lose about a foot, but it'll be third down at about 9.
Bears 0 of 6 on third down conversions in the first half.
Tell you, one of the reasons they're having so many troubles, Logan Smith, number 3, who is a 220 senior, and that linebacker gets around and can clog up some running lanes pretty quick. He's now on the right side in that right outside linebacker spot, and he'll drop in coverage. Creek going to toss this ball deep to Garza, and it will go just through Garza's hands down at the 32-yard line and be incomplete, and that will set up a 4th down. Good coverage back there by Liberty. Back deep with him was Zane Peterson. Peterson step for step with Garza down the home sideline. Ball put pretty much where it needed to be, but tough catch for Garza looking over his shoulder, trying to find that football. So the ball will be kicked away. Jones with the kick as he takes his time, and man, did he nail this one. West is going to go back, and he'll let it bounce, and it will take a Bryan bounce inside the 15 and be down at about the 12. So that was a monstrous kick.
We've seen
Josh
a couple
Jones.
of those this year.
Push it close to 50 and no return. First down and 10 now for Liberty Center as they'll have the ball on their 12-yard line. And I guess the only question that you got is how long do you play the first team now if you're Coach Lindgren with a 34-0 lead. They've got Brooks Hinton back in at quarterback. And we just have to check some numbers here to see. Chambers is the receiver on this side. He's got 2 running backs in the backfield. Looks like Carpenter and Sexton again back there. They'll hand it to Sexton. He'll come left side and be upended after a couple yards out around the 14-yard line.
You don't want to risk an injury, especially if they have a little bit of a chance to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a small chance, but it still is a chance. And, you know, that's what's that old line there? So I got you think I got a chance there, huh? Is that what that was back in the movie that they did that one on, Chris?
I will have my own, which means it isn't over till Joe Idle says it is.
There you go. Second down now at about 8. And this one will go right side for a couple, and I believe that was, again, Sexton again for about 3, maybe 4. And it'll set up a third down now and about 4 for Liberty Center.
Meanwhile, Liberty Center was 3 of 5 on third down for the first half.
Clock is rolling under 6 now to play in the third quarter. Liberty up 34-0 here on the final Friday night of the football season. Carpenter and Sexton, again, the running backs in the backfield. They'll turn, and they'll hand it this time to the big fella, Carpenter, and he'll be forward for pretty close to a first down. If he's not gotten it, he's very close, and now they're going to move the chains. Out across the 22, knock it down at about the 23, first down and 10. A new set of downs here for the Liberty Center Tigers. Clock at almost 5 minutes now as we're running a perpetual second half clock. Carpenter on the pitch to the left side, and he'll be up the field to about the 25-yard line. Bears there to make the tackle. Carpenter got some. Hausch got the tackle. Give Carpenter 3. Give Hausch probably, I don't know, half a dozen tackles or so tonight. He's done a pretty good job coming up from that safety spot to knock the big fella down. And again, you know, outside of a couple of big plays here tonight, Chris, this is a close football game, but a 97-yard touchdown, a 50-yard touchdown, and a 3-yard touchdown.
There's that reverse again.
And the Bears had that one pretty well sniffed out as Chambers had no place to go. Christian Chambers, who has a big run and a catch here tonight.
He actually lost a yard on that one, Jim.
So he'll lose 1. It'll be third down now and about 8, and that's only about the second negative play all night long for the home team.
That is the second negative play for the home team.
There you go. 4:14 to play. I got a great memory for negative plays, don't I, for the home team? There comes that reverse again, and the Bears all over. Jake Kuba not biting on that one. Clayton Farrell also right there as they get that little delay reverse. And the Bears were right there to scoop it all up, and Chambers again will be thrown for no gain, and that will set up fourth down, and now with the ball all the way back inside their 25-yard line. Peters will drop back deep.
Of the game.
Drew Peters goes back to his 35-yard line. Punt will be coming from about the Liberty 15. Nice big booming kick. Drives Peters back to his 28. Makes the first guy miss, makes the second guy miss, and then he will be dropped at about the 40-yard line. And you ask for a block in the back, there you go, you got one.
It's actually the first guy that did it. West got blocked in the back, and they didn't throw the first guy. This official didn't throw the flag, so he's throwing it. He looked right at that play, threw the first block. The official close to it didn't call it, but he did.
I think David Rummel was the young guy that got called for the block.
Yep, but it was definitely the first block that was in the back.
And the ball will now move from the Bryan 40-yard line. And will be walked back inside to about the 20. Well, it's going to go clear back to the 20-yard line on the nose, as the ball will be placed with the front end of the football's nose right on the 20-yard line of the Golden Bears. So instead of having some really good field position again to get things started, Bears will now have a bit of a long field that they'll have to negotiate, and we're down to 3:18 to play here in the third quarter. Rittenhouse, the only running back in the backfield. They'll go with double wides on both sides. Blues Creek will now roll to his right. He's got trouble. Now he'll throw it away, and a good job by Garza to come towards it so that he had a receiver in the area, but really nobody open in the secondary as the Bears go to a more conventional, traditional look with the double wide receivers to the top and the bottom. And we have a stoppage of the clock right now. Now we will wind it back up and keep it going.
Had a roughing the passer call in Liberty Center, Jim.
There you go. Late hit will give the Bears the first down.
It's the second first down by penalty for them.
And all that yardage that they just lost with the block in the back, they'll get back as the ball will be spotted down at the 35-yard line now, the Golden Bears.
I mean, you can't do that. I understand. You see a quarterback running for his life, but you can't do that.
2:14, clock is moving, third quarter. Blues Creek drops. Now he'll roll towards the visitor side. Motioning for his guys to go upfield. We've got Laundrie in the backfield, and this one was tipped by a couple of Liberty players and almost completed to Josh Jones down around the 40-yard line, but I think we have a holding call in our backfield this time. And that's exactly what it is. It will be a 10-yard penalty against the Bears, so even if that would have been tipped and caught, it would have been coming back, and the clock, even with the penalty, still continues to tick as we're down to a minute and a half to play here in the third quarter. Bears with the hold. Now the ball goes back to the 20-yard line. So we went from the 20 to the 35 and then back to the 20 again, Chris. How's that?
Yep.
Pretty easy. We've done that 4 times now. We started there on the kick at the 35.
Went back but then it was first down and 10. Now it's first and a million, first and 20.
Well, you know, tonight we have not had any first down and 37s or anything like that yet as Creek rolls to his right, tries to hit his receiver out close to the 40-yard line, and that is, again, Garza, who is trying to connect with at around the 38-yard line, and Garza just about a yard shy of where he needed to be able to pull that ball in with tight coverage. Under a minute now to play third quarter. That's the one thing about a running clock in the second half, Chris. The ball game speeds up immensely, doesn't it?
It does.
Wow, look at that kid. Big Josh, going to be 7 foot tall when he's done there, bud. Creek drops, middle of the pocket. Roll now towards the home side, and then lets go a wild duck, and this one's out of bounds. Josh Jones, the intended receiver, that thing was spinning every direction.
Ugly.
You seen a spiral? Well, take whatever the absolute opposite of that is, and that's what that ball was thrown. It was end over end, spinning, twisting, turning, and it was heading towards the sideline. So that will probably be the last play of the third quarter as both teams head towards their respective sidelines. We have 3 in the books, and the Bears trail 34-0 here on BryanSports.com. Well, there was blood on the field there, too. The ball got through, actually caught an assistant coach in the face, Chris, and you hate to see it and say it, but that was just one that nobody could put their hands on, and
I've never seen a pass thrown quite that way. It was spinning like a top as it was coming to the sideline.
I've never seen anything like that.
Just an unbelievable toss, and with that, it'll be Bears football, 3rd down and a bunch.
That was a Sports Center highlight, not in a good way.
Yeah, boy. That one was a knuckleballer that just kept spinning all the way to the sideline.
Tim Lincecum pitch.
Yeah. And I do think the coach thought his guy was going to come down with the interception on the sideline, but when it got through his hands, he was standing watching it, caught him right square in the nose. So 3rd down now and a whole bunch for the Bears. 3rd and about 25. Bears have the football on their own 20-yard line. So we open up the last 12 minutes of the football season here for 2015 with a running clock at Liberty Center. Bears will send Rittenhouse in the backfield. They'll put triples here on the home side and a single receiver to the top. That's Color up on top. Creek will drop. He has some time. Now he'll run out of time. He'll roll to his right to gain a little more, and he'll launch this one deep. And it is intercepted into Liberty territory at the 35. Back out to the 40, looking for a couple of blocks at midfield at the 40-yard line of Liberty, and finally knocked down right around the 35 of Liberty Center. And we're just going to have to grab a number when he gets back up. I believe that is number 8, Chase Hill. So Hill picks the pocket there on a long pass. You could say that's just like a punt, but the return that came from the 30-yard line all the way back to the Liberty 35 makes it a 35-yard return and sets Liberty up on the 36-yard line now of the Golden Bears. So it would have been a very short punt if you'd kicked that away, as the ball was launched at about the 20. So you net out with about 16 positive yards on that interception. Thank you for all the food. And as always, we have been fed well again here tonight at Liberty Center. Quarterback will drop. Hinton. Now he'll roll around the visitor sideline, and he will be up the field to about the 25-yard line. He'll have enough for the first down before he is dropped. And for the Bears, it was 22, Brandon Farrell, that made the tackle.
That's Hinton's first carry of the night.
And Hinton's still on the football field. And, of course, obviously, Hinton being the senior here tonight, you would guess that Rex probably leave him in there and let him get as much time in front of the home crowd one last Friday night as he's going to get. And maybe on the next series of downs, you do have their freshmen down here, I think, warming up in front of us right now. Got somebody warming up in front of us. Liberty again with an offset eye in that backfield. And they'll pitch, and they'll sweep right side. That's 34 Carpenter again, and Carpenter will get inside the 20, and a very late flag on that run.
Be interesting to see.
David Rummel makes the tackle for the Bears. The penalty will go against
Liberty.
Against Liberty with a push in the black or holding call.
No, block in the back.
So a block in the back will go against the Tigers, and that will wipe out a nice run and bring the football back to the 29-yard line of Liberty and make it first down now at about 14. Clock rolling now, under 10 minutes to play in this football game. Traditional two-back look. Sexton, left end, back to the 25-yard line. Bears there to knock him down after pickup of about 5. And we've got a Bear on the field right now, and he is slow to get up. Don't know who that is, but we'll go over to, while we're waiting to see and get some attention to the young guy down there at about the 26-yard line, we'll go to Mr. Eric Herman, who's been in contact with Chris Central.
Scoreboard Central. Home of the Cheeto.
Yep.
Delta, it's still Delta 7, Swanton 9. Patrick Henry under Dwasion, 7-0. Archbold 14, Evergreen 7. Defiance 20 over Shawnee 0. Tenora is up 20-0 over Ayersville. Hicksville 25. Holgate, not Colgate, but Holgate 12. Fairview is still trailing Edgerton 13-14. Northwood is over Montpelier 21-14. Lima Central Catholic 28 over Wayne Trace 14. BG 16, Napoleon 9. Paulding 14. Crestview 8. And it is Perrysburg 28, Maumee 14. And in baseball action, it's Kansas City 2, Mets 2, Tapa 2.
You know what? The way we thought that Tenora Ayersville game was going to go, Eric, we thought that was going to be a lot closer than 20-0.
I think everybody called that game a lot closer.
I
than
thought
this.
that was going to be last possession, last one with the ball, kind of.
We don't know what happened last week necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, we listened to some of the game, but we don't know, if there was an injury afterwards or something like that that's plaguing them right now, or other things.
Why don't we take a quick break with the injury, Jim?
Good idea. We'll step away. Bears trail here late in the ball game, 34-0. Back here at Liberty Center, Jim and Chris and Eric and Chris Bryce and Aaron and everybody else up here.
Shar.
Even Shar sitting over there on the other side. Hi, Shar. Shar, who's been working like 22 hours a day and partying the last 2 hours of every evening that she has. Tell you what, it's nice to be young. And, I used to do that, Shar. Back in the day, only was partying 22 hours and working for 2 hours. Carpenter breaks about 3 tackles on that first run. He'll be inside the 20-yard line to about the 19-yard line. And a third down now and about 4 now for Liberty Center. And it was David Rummel, the Bryan Golden Bear, that was injured, and they helped him off the field. Wasn't putting any pressure on that left leg as he made his way to the Bryan sideline. Carpenter and Sexton again. They'll pitch to Carpenter, and he'll sweep left side. He'll be very close to the first down as they mark him at the 21-yard line. Kuba and Devontae Royster, the young guys that were making the tackle. It'll be 4th down and 1 now for Liberty.
Gotta believe they'll go for it.
You would have to believe so. 8:17 and counting.
That makes them 4 of 8 for third down, Jim.
I like your new program, Chris. That's one thing this year has gotten us is a wonderful stat program. They'll give the ball again to Carpenter, and Carpenter will be through a big hole off right tackle inside the 10. Finally knocked down at about the 6, and it will be now 1st down and goal for the home team, looking to go over that 40-point mark here tonight on their final Friday night in front of the home crowd in 2015.
Jim, that was their 4th first down after a 4th down.
They have not been afraid to go for it on 4th down.
haven't.
After that first one that went for 50 and a touchdown, Chris, I think they gained a little confidence at that point in time. Carpenter again. He'll be close to the goal line. Just waiting for the sign right now. Let's see. Piled down at about the 1-foot line. They're going to say he is just barely short. As the Bears were able to get up and make that tackle, Musinski was the first guy guarding that end zone, along with Drew Lockhoff, and the Tigers will have to at least take one more down to try to.
You can't get any closer than that ball is marked right now.
It is right on the nose of the goal line. Hitting the quarterback. Will he keep it himself and call his own number? No, he'll turn and give it to his big fullback, and he'll meet a Golden Bear at the goal line and then skip right on past him for the score. And the Bears find themselves now down 40-0 with 6:48 to play here in this ball game. Well, it's going to be an interesting offseason for Coach Redhead and his guys. As he said in the pregame show, one of the things he's going to work on here in between the 2015-2016 season is to really get his group together, get them stronger, get them a little more comfortable in the way that he likes to play football, and we'll see how things will pan out for next year. Extra point is up, and it's a strike right down the center of the aisle, but we do have some conversation, and I think we might have had a penalty. I don't see the flag anywhere, but I heard a whistle down there, and maybe it was an offsides on the Golden Bears. Everybody heads towards the sideline. The officials talking in the middle, and I still don't see a flag, but there was some conversation going on down there. Point after is good, and the Bears now trail 41-0 as we step away here from BryantSports.com. Back here at Liberty as we wrap this season up, 6:48 to play in this football game, and the Bears yet to score tonight. Had the opportunity, Christopher, if you go back a long ways, on a big kick return that set the Bears up first down and goal at the 5-yard line back in the first quarter. Not able to punch that one in, and from that point to this point, it really has been all Liberty Tigers at that on this last Friday night of the season. So it's been a rough night for the Bears. They're about to get the football back as the clock continues to be in a running position as soon as it's kicked. 6:48 left to go in this ball game. In fact, it's rolling right now. Kick will be bounced back to Peters at the 15. He'll try the visitor's sideline. 30, 32-yard line, maybe the 33. As the Bears will again have some pretty decent field position to operate. First down and 10. Got to believe we're down to the last series or two of the year for this offense. And it has been a rugged year for the Bears this year for scoring points, Chris. They're dead last in the conference scoring this year with only 61 total points. And for Liberty Center, they came in with 212, and they put 41 up here tonight. Creek makes the first guy miss. Now he reverses his field, and he will head
what a block.
The Bryan side or the Liberty sideline. He'll let this one go, and basically Colt Arthur just about lost his helmet at the 47-yard line as that ball thrown inside to where the defensive back could give him a lick, and Arthur could not come up with the football, and it will be first down still and 10 yards to go. And again, the block in the backfield. Chris, did you catch a number
beautiful.
back there?
I don't know who that was, but his side, he was kind of turned as he was at his side when he threw it.
I think it might have been Chimmy Sanchez, 68, that made that block.
I think you might be right.
Sanchez only a sophomore, so if you want some bright spots, a couple of sophomores out there that as the year went on started to figure a few things out, as Creek will be sacked, and he lost the football initially. Not sure whether he got on it. Yes, he did. Got back to the line of scrimmage, just making up his mind to run the football, and he had it stripped out of his hands, but he was able to fall on it as it fell right in front of him there. And it'll be third down and 10. Bears ball at the 33-yard line.
Under 5 minutes to play.
So the Bears have it third down and 10.
They're subbing the seniors in out one by one, Jim.
And, that's always a good thing on senior night. They get everybody a nice round of applause. Pick six up the left sideline. 10-5 touchdown. And again, kind of telegraph that one. And when you do that, you've got guys that are sitting back there, and that, I believe, again, was our old buddy number 8, Chase Hill. But we've got a flag down around the 17-yard line. So it might take the points off the scoreboard here temporarily. That's the one thing that Blues has had so many problems with this year, Chris, and that was his second interception here tonight.
I think the points are coming off, but I think that Liberty Center's going to have the ball.
Liberty will have the football back. It looks like a block in the back again, down at about the 15-yard line. Got some folks here on the home side that are yelling no way, and it really doesn't matter. The ball going to come back and be placed out at about the 27-yard line. Sam Sanchez, 76, pushing the black in the back. Blah. Everybody going trick-or-treating tomorrow night, I'd hope. I've got my costume right now. I'm going as one of the scariest things you're going to find. How's that?
The OU streaker.
It's a secret. First down and 10 now for Liberty as their offense back out on the football field.
He's going as a Q-tip.
There you go. First down dive for Carpenter gets him to the 25-yard line. And you give Carpenter about 4 on that first down tote.
That gives him 2:02 on the night.
And you're starting to bring some guys again one at a time, as you said,
Sexton
Chris.
comes out. He finishes with 89 yards.
You know, Carpenter will be back again next year. He's only a junior, so that'll scare you just a little bit. He breaks a tackle. He's still on his feet, middle of the field, inside the 10, down to the 5, close to the goal line. He knocked down at about the 3-yard line. I'll tell you what, if you're a Golden Bear fan, if I came dressed in a black jersey with a big orange 34 on it, it would probably be a little scary because
Absolutely.
that big fella has rumbled through the middle of our line all night long. And now they're going to bring Hinton, the quarterback, out. And they'll turn and feed the big guy again, and Carpenter will have another touchdown on the night as he will cut out across that left guard spot and go sideways past Jake Kuba and into the end zone for the touchdown. And just like that, it's 47-0 with 2:47 left to play in the ball game. So you turn the ball over, and Liberty took advantage of it, putting it into the end zone on the interception, but the block in the back penalty just delayed the inevitable as they take the ball in for the touchdown.
Carpenter has 5 of their 7 touchdowns. He's had the last 5 touchdowns.
Only 10 guys out there with a black jersey on, and they'll bring number 11 now off the sideline as they set up for this extra point. Clock is stopped with 2:47 left to go, and the extra point is off the upright and good, but we have a flag down on the field.
See if they have to re-kick it. Could be a weird formation since he ran in late.
Shot block. Liberty Center.
I mean, they have to kick it again?
Yep. And I'll tell you, let's just see what kind of leg this young guy's got.
Yeah.
He's done a nice job so far.
Let's put it this way. I'm not taking it off the board just yet.
Every extra point that he has kicked tonight
He's missed one.
has been.
He missed
This
the
is,
third
you know
one.
what? This is the Tico kid. This is number 7 who's been kicking that ball. He's the young guy who's been out all season long, not been able to play. He's going to get the opportunity.
Carpenter hasn't been or Hinton hasn't been kicking him?
Nope, he's been. You actually have Hinton that's holding the thing, and Tico, number 7, is the guy that's kicking him. He's at the 25-yard line now. So this will be a 35-yard extra point, and it is just short underneath that crossbar. So we will take the point off the scoreboard and make it 47-0. Tico, who has been injured all year long, who's another one of the seniors, got a chance to try that extra point, and he left that one just a little bit. You know what he might have been? It might have been this. It might have been just the fact that they brought him in for that extra point there, Chris. Okay.
You don't think?
I'm not really sure. We'll have to go back and check the tape and see who has been kicking all night long. But 7 is a senior tonight, and so it could have been a situation that way. I don't know. It's been a bit of a blur on those extra points.
Yep.
I've been in shock after every one of the touchdowns relatively, and it's just a matter of trying to keep everything organized right now as we're down to the final drive here of the season for the Bears. Bears will drop Garza and Peters back deep. Garza here on the home side and Peters to the top. Liberty will kick this football off probably for the last time this season. Yeah, I think it's been.
It's been Hinton.
I think it's been this guy right here kicking. Yep, and I believe is that 10? I believe isn't that Hinton kicking? That's Strauss 18. There you go. Couldn't tell the 10 for the 18. So Strauss has been kicking.
Gosh, we almost took
Cuba.
out our own guy.
Kuba caught the football back around the 25-yard line. It'll be run out of bounds just about there. So Strauss is 18, has been the guy that's been knocking those things down until that last time, Chris.
Okay.
And I think then the last kick, they brought Tickle in to make the attempt at 35 yards. How would that be? They told me tonight he might be making a guest appearance. How about bringing you in for a 35-yard extra point, huh? And there we go. We're going to take a timeout on the Liberty sideline as it all of a sudden was 1 on 11. And one guy is Smith, who's coming to the sideline right now. And a big round of applause for a young guy, Logan Smith, who was the only guy on the football field. And it was going to be Smith against the Golden Bears there for a minute before Coach Lindgren decided to call the timeout, but I guess a very good way of sending out one of your favorites here in Liberty Center, and that young guy has played some wonderful football for Coach Lindgren during his time as he heads on here to his next location, which will be a college unknown here at this moment. The Bears will bring the offense back on one last time with 2 minutes and 25 seconds left to go in the ball game.
Last two have been interceptions. Drives have ended in interceptions.
Rittenhouse will be in the backfield. Blues Creek will roll towards the visitor sideline. He'll be up the sideline and out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. So a nice pickup for Blues Creek of about 6 yards on first down.
Looks like they're taking Rummel off, Jim.
Rummel, another one of those seniors.
No, they're taking him off on a cart.
Yep.
Down there. Stretcher.
Well, that's never a good sign. You never like to see a guy go that way, but more than likely that's something to do with a leg that has a problem. Long pass to Garza is a little bit behind him, and the ball got through the hands of the defender. Got to Garza's fingertips, but he wasn't able to pull it in down around the 30-yard line.
Tell you what, I'd take this all the way down to as long as I have to snap it.
A minute and 13 seconds left to go in the ball game. As Mr. Herman's warming up a microphone here. I don't know, you going to be singing?
Me.
There you go. Well, you've lost so much weight you can't be the fat leg singing anymore, so it's not the end of the ball game yet. Blues Creek will roll to the home side. He's got Drew Peters.
Oh, my goodness.
It goes right through Drew Peters' hands
that
down
was
around the 30-yard line.
Hands. How?
Well, it's been that way all year long. If we throw the ball on the money, the guys can't get both hands on it.
Goodness.
And if they're wide open, then it's just been a rough year. Let's just leave it at that. Blues Creek will go to the sideline to talk to Coach one last time. Clock down to 29 seconds and rolling. This will probably be the last play of the football game.
Jim, 69 total yards tonight for the Bears.
This, from those teams of 2 and 3 years ago when we would put up that much in a single play over and over and over again, Creek will keep the football. He'll run it up the visitor sideline to midfield. He'll step into Liberty territory, but they'll say he stepped out before he got to there, and that will bring this one to the end. Yep, they're going to say it's going to stop at 3, but it's going to be wound up here. Both teams starting to come to the midfield stripe, and they will shake hands and call this a night. And the Bears will go home at 0-10, and Liberty will improve their record now to 6-4 on the season as the Bears fall 47-0 here at Liberty Center tonight. We'll step away and come back and put a wrap on this one here on BryanSports.com. Well, it was a long, tough night here and a long conclusion to a long season, Chris, for the Golden Bears as they go 0-10, and it's been a long time. In fact, I don't think we have seen one in the years that we've been doing the football games where it's been 0-10. It's a tough, tough way for Coach Redhead to get started in his career here in Bryan. And for all the Bears faithful, I know it's been a long season that I think most are happy to come to a conclusion now, and we'll move on to the offseason and move forward. And I'd like to take this moment here real quick to just
recognize the seniors who did play their last football game tonight for the Golden Bears. Jacob Kuba. Also, you've got Jacob Hausch, Corbin Garza, David Rummel, Andrew Lockoff, Chris Whitler, Chance Taylor, Christian Riddle,
Brant Hall,
and Robert Kimball,
and Brant Hall.
And I'll tell you, of that bunch, I've said this to a number of the senior parents this year. This has got to be one of the toughest things that you can ever go through as a senior parent when you change coaches like we have, you change styles of football, and you have a team that just really is lacking in talent to be able to compete this year. And making that transition from one system to another to go 0-10 your senior year after you really have gone through a couple of years of really good football, sitting on the bench waiting for your time to have your time in the Friday night lights. And those seniors I know are very disappointed tonight with the way that the season has gone. But we thank all of them for a great time and watching most of these guys play the last couple of years. And good effort. I don't think they ever gave up all season long, but it just has been a year where things have not been good. And tonight it just kind of put an explanation point behind this season as they lose tonight to Liberty 47-0.
Let's run down some stats. Bryan with 5 first downs, 1 rush, 2 pass, 2 penalty. Liberty Center with 10, 7 on the rush, 3 on the pass. Bryan had 48 yards of rushing on 20 carries, 373 yards on 43 carries for Liberty Center. You're right, they are a rushing team. Bryan was 3 of 15 for 36 yards, 2 interceptions. Passing, Liberty Center 3 of 4 for 103 yards, 0 interceptions. Bryan ran 40 plays, got 84 yards. Liberty Center ran 53 plays, 476 yards. Time of possession 19-21 for Bryan, 24-24 for Liberty Center. Bryan was 1 of 8 on 3rd down. Liberty Center was 4 of 8. Bryan was 0 of 2 on 4th down. Liberty Center was 3 of 3. Liberty Center was in the red zone twice and scored twice. Bryan was in the red zone once, did not score. Bryan was penalized twice for 25 yards, which is the one positive if you have to take something positive out of this game.
There you go. Yep.
Liberty Center was penalized 5 times for 35 yards. Bryan, leading rusher was Blues Creek with 28 yards. And then Royster had 20 yards. Passing receptions, Rummel caught a 20-yard pass reception, and Peters 17, and that's about it for the offense. Liberty Center, meanwhile, offensively, they had Carpenter and Sexton. Carpenter had 227 yards on, 27 carries. Sexton with 89 yards on 10 carries, so that's 8.9 yards a carry for Sexton. And passing, 3 of 4 for Hinton. He found Chambers for that big 71-yard touchdown pass, and then Hill had 2 receptions for 32 yards. Just to give you the drives, Bryan punt, second drive, there was that 65-yard kickoff return by Jones, but it was a turnover on downs. They couldn't punch it in from the 5. Punt, turnover on downs, interception, punt, interception, interception. That was the Bryan drive. Of course, no scoring. Liberty Center's drives, touchdown, 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 turnover on downs, end of the half, touchdown, punt, touchdown, touchdown. They're scoring plays, 3 in the first quarter rather. At 9:31 remaining, Sexton had a 50-yard touchdown return. Then Chambers, a 71-yard touchdown reception from Hinton. That made it 14-0. Also in the first quarter with 5:40 remaining, Carpenter had that 97-yard touchdown run. So think about that swing right there. You had it first and goal from the 5, can't score, and then you give up a 97-yard touchdown run.
Thanks, Jeff.
And then second quarter, Carpenter 8-yard touchdown return to make it 27-0 at the half. And then in the second half was all Carpenter. You had touchdown runs of 17, 1, and 3. So there you have it.
Well, you saw the big Chet Dangler coming over with his sign. That'll be the last time this year that Chet takes the sign up along the sidelines there for the Bryan Golden Bears football team. He is ready and fired up and ready to go for basketball season, Chris. So he said, just to pass that along to you guys, that he'll be ready to go when the ladies and the boys get going to tip that round ball off here for the basketball season coming up here in another month or so. Big thank you, as always, to all of the folks that brought you the ball games each and every one of the nights here through the 10 weeks of the season this year. The Bryan Athletic Boosters always backing our athletes. Good luck, Bears, all season long. Bryan Ford Lincoln, we're just down the road from high prices.
Bryan Municipal Utilities, your local cable and high-speed internet provider. Genesis Healthcare, Bryan Center, where your friends, your family, and your neighbors. Grill Funeral Home, commitment to service is our #1 priority. Northwest State Community College, helping you take the next step to a new job or a new career. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, all types of services for all types of people. The Plaza Motel, your home away from home. And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Tompkinson BMW, home of the ultimate driving machine. And Whelan's Automotive, dealership quality at aftermarket pricing. Crew is great all of this year. Again, Aaron and Shar, Eric, Greg was up with us here a couple of times. The big Smurf sitting back there in his pretty yellow tuxedo with all his Cheeto dust on his shoulders. Chris Bryce, who fed us scores all year long. Chris Malinga, as always, man, a wonderful job. Enjoyed all 10 weeks, buddy. And a great scoring system that you've put in place for us for the next couple of years. And I'll tell you what, those stats were wonderful this year,
Thank you.
buddy.
I appreciate it, Jim. It was good. It was fun to do the games with you again this year, and hopefully better results next year.
47-10 was the final here in the final football game. We're going to wrap up another Bryan High School football season. We'll talk to you again soon, probably when the basketball season rolls around on BryanSports.com.